Okay, welcome back. Welcome to part 2. Let's move on to the next sound. So again, I'm going to duplicate this channel, mute the original one and solo the new one. And I'm going to select new sound. Okay, so this is a pretty simple sound really. We're just going to be using two operators, E and F. So I'm going to turn E on and I'm going to route it into F. And I'm going to change F's ratio to 16. E's ratio I'm going to leave on 1, but I am going to change it to a sawtooth wave. Next, I'm going to hit pitch, because we're going to change the pitch envelope. I'm going to turn the envelope amplitude up to 100, and I'm going to turn down this attack, and I'm also going to change the curve on it. I'm going to pull down this decay as well, and change the curve on that. Okay, next we're going to hit master. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Voice is 8 and polyphony as high as it'll go, 64. I'm going to put both detune and pan on about 30. And just to make the sound a little bit bigger, on effects we're going to give it a little bit of reverb. Turn down the dry wet a bit, we only want it fairly subtle. And a bit of subtle chorus as well. And there you go. Told you it was simple. Let's move on. Okay, it probably won't come as a surprise to you that I'm going to duplicate this track, mute the original, solo the new one, and create a new sound. And this is going to be our classic dubstep wobble. And again, this sound isn't very complicated or complex either. Again, it's just two operators. So I'm going to turn on operator E, route that into F almost all the way. I'm going to leave it at about 90. And I'm going to change operator E's ratio to 2. And I'm going to change operator F's waveform to a soft square. Now let's edit our envelopes. Operator F, I'm just going to give a little bit of an attack and a release. And operator E is going to be a tempo synced envelope. What I'm going to do is control click to add another point. Change the curve. And I'm going to drag this top right point of our envelope around until I get the right tempo. And give it a little bit of a release so it's not as clicky when I take my finger off the note. Awesome, and I'm just going to add a little bit of reverb just so it's not quite so dry. Cool, so moving on. Again, I'm going to duplicate this, mute the original, solo the new one, and go new sound. Okay, so for this patch we're going to be using 4 operators, C, D, E and F. I'm going to turn F up to 100 and I'm going to route C into it. I'm going to change F's ratio to 2. Next I'm going to route E to the output and C to E. I'm going to change E's ratio to 14. And next I'm going to route D to the output and C to D. D's ratio I'm going to change to 24 and I'm going to change its waveform to 4th formant. Okay, let's have a look at our envelopes. First of all, I'm going to link F to E, D and C just to pull the release out a little bit so it's a bit less clicky. And now I'm going to unlink those. I'm going to give C a bit of an attack. And I'm going to give D and E a little bit of an attack as well. Maybe just tighten that up a little bit. Cool, next I'm going to go on to master. I'm going to give it 8 voices and I'm going to turn the level down a little bit. Make sure polyphony is on 64. Turn the detune up a little bit. And finally, in effect, I'm going to add overdrive, give it a bit more drive and lots of tone. And there we are, that's our 5th sound. Now this sub bass is really simple. Literally all I did was I just grabbed another instance of FM8 and copied all my MIDI data onto it. And it's literally just 2 operators, 2 sine waves. E is a ratio of 2. F's level is 100. E's level is about 60. And I just made sure it wasn't clicky by linking those 2 operators and just giving them a bit of attack and release. But don't forget that some of that MIDI data we copied over had both pitch bend and modulation information. So we want to go to our mod page, we want to delete that routing because we don't want our mod wheel giving our sub bass a vibrato, and we want to make sure that these pitch bend up and pitch bend down values are the same as on the bass part where we've got that pitch bend programming. So we want pitch bend up to be 3 and pitch bend down to be -12. Cool, and so concludes the very last of these videos on Native Instruments FM8. I really hope you found this series helpful. My name's Al Swetnam, also known as Geek Boy. Thanks very much for watching.